We ask for guidance from the universal spirit creator, our angels and our spirit guides, to move from soul to subconscious, from subconscious to conscious being to higher self. We request protected conduit to the realm of the highest good, aligned only to light, so that we may raise our frequencies for the good of all beings, and so that we may step back to see and allow ourselves to be. We do request 100% connection to source and 100% gold cord connection at heart chakra. With thanks, humility, grace, and love, so mote it be. Welcome to the Infinite Dance. I am so happy you are here today to join me to talk about healing and being healed. I have had a lot of clients and colleagues and friends and random posts that I've seen asking, I thought I was healed. I've done all the work. I've been doing all this work. How come I still get triggered? So I thought, let's do an episode about healing and this idea that we're supposed to be healed 100%, and what it looks like to actually be on the healing journey. So before we get into that, let's go ahead and take the moment of silence for all those that are oppressed and needing a little extra. So if you have a little extra, go ahead and send it on to those in Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, anywhere the United States. I mean, we could keep going. Pretty much every place and person is going through it to some extent right now, some worse than others, but let's go ahead and send any extra goodness to those that are experiencing not able to thrive and live a normal, right, life of having food, shelter, etc. Thank you so much for taking that moment. I so appreciate you all for doing that. All right. So maybe you've been doing a bunch of work on self, right? Maybe you have your meditation routine, or you've gone and had chakra healings and clearings or readings of any kind, and you are gaining clarity and you are gaining some insights about where things stemmed from and taking on some tools of how to move forward. This is wonderful, right? You are taking a vested interest in yourself to try to understand what's going on with you, right? So, how come we're so hard on ourselves when, we're doing all this great stuff to get past a trauma? What we continue to be so like we need to be perfect, and I need to be in this bliss state all the time. Oh my God, can I feel like I'm floating on the lake like every day? Um, that's like such a great feeling, right? So how do we hold space for ourselves through all the different parts of our healing journey, of our life journey? Yeah, our soul journey. So one of the first things we can do, and maybe you've already done this, right, is acknowledge what happened and give it a name. Yeah. Um, I felt shame or I was feeling judged by. Um, we start to give things a name and they're always of a lower frequency because it was hard, right? It was something that maybe wasn't something we really wanted to go through. So identifying the pattern or the element of the trigger, right? Like I had a friend post, boy, I fell into my old ways. I got triggered and I fell into these old ways. And what is going on? I thought I got past all of this, right? And I thought I was over it. Well, let's back up a little bit. The energy never leaves, it just transmutes into something different. And even when that happens, we can't erase something that did happen to us. So there will be layers throughout your life around that. And when we take these certain steps of acknowledging, giving, calling it out, um, whatever it is, maybe it's sadness, um, then we can start to work with what we need to do next, those action steps. So pat yourself on the back. If you're able to step back and go, I just felt so judged by this interaction, right? That left me feeling really, really terrible, then that's huge. Um, and that is such an integral part of the process of your journey, your soul journey. Once we do that, a lot of times we want to skip forward to, let me just feel good. I don't want to feel bad anymore about it. But what if you let yourself feel it? Feel that judgment, feel that sadness in a different place, right? Because you're not in the trauma. You're not in the heart of the trauma that just happened. You're in a different space now. So you get to look at it and feel it coming from a different place. You're not in the muck of it. Um, and that's great that you can step back, right? And go, hey, I I'm going to go ahead and allow myself to feel this in this different space that I'm in right now. So once you get to the point where you can identify what happened and allow yourself to feel it as you are now, then you can start to go, okay, but I don't want to live in this anymore. Right? Maybe it had been going on for a while. Maybe it had been going on for months or even years. And you're like, I just can't live in this space. It's not helping anything. So, is there an affirmation, a mantra that you could tell yourself um, that will repeat instead of replaying that situation that happened over and over again? We all do it. Oh, how come it happened? You're trying to figure out why that happened like it did. And we replay it over and over again because there's something else I could have done. Should I have spoken up? Why did I freeze? Why did I fawn? Right? Why did I react the way I did? We just constantly play that over and over again. And we have to remember that when we're not in the traumatic experience anymore, right? We're safe. You're not in harm's way. You get a chance to become what I refer to as the great observer and see all the different parts. see all the different parts. So good, you've identified what's going on, allowed yourself the space to feel it in the present moment. That's really important. And you get to a place to see it now. All right, so maybe you're scooching along, you're doing your thing. Yeah. And you've given yourself some mantras, or maybe you take up breath work, humming, tapping, meditation. Choose something that you don't have to need anything external. You can just be wherever. And, oh, I'm going to take these 5 breaths or these 6 breaths, or I can tap myself, right? Wherever you're at. And you've started to incorporate them in your life. And maybe a few months pass by or even a year, and you come across a new experience or a new person, and you get an old trigger, and those old feelings from the original experience come back. I wrote down rut row because I've been there. I remember the first time I started on my self awareness path in my 20s. And I had worked on some things, a breakup, heartache, I think. And I got past it, right? I thought I was healed because I'd been doing all this work. I was working out, I was meditating. I took myself on a year and a day high priestess training. Um, I was eating really clean. I was doing all these things. And I was doing the work. So what happened, right? That I would come across another experience and get triggered back into those feelings of heartache or being rejected or whatever it was. Guess what, folks? That means we're living, right? We're feeling it. We're in it. We're allowing ourselves to go, oh, hey, here's a new person or here's a new experience I get to take part in. And all the things are going to come up. That's just a part of life. And meeting new people and having new experiences and giving yourself chances to meet a soulmate, um, and live out your contracts. You're not any less on your journey, right? Because you got triggered. And I think that's something we need to put on repeat, that we can get triggered again with a new person and a new experience, right? Even if it's not the exact same scenario that you're in with this new person or this new experience, you're still having the same feelings come up around it. Maybe I feel unsafe, or maybe I feel judged, or whatever it is. But you have tools now because you've been doing the work. You've been consciously sitting with yourself, sitting with the original experience, and getting to a different place, right? Now, currently, around that. So we get to apply those tools that we've put in our toolbox in this new experience. And this is a good thing, you know? You're not just like, whoa, I just went through this experience and I have no idea how to regulate my nervous system, which is essentially what we would want to do. Another thing to keep in mind is, unless you have no contact with people ever, we're gonna have these experiences and new uncomfortable situations. They're just a part of the skin suit experience of being human. So, because that person's coming with their experience and their traumas and triggers and whatnot. Um, and when a new situation arises and we get to apply some tools that we've developed, we get a chance then to not live in said experience after it happened. Because when we have those thoughts in on repeat of what happened and what I could have done different and all that, that helps you to continue to live in that experience in something that's not as savory, right? Not as you don't want to have those lower frequency or lower, you know, um, energies defining everything you do. I kind of liken when we replay those the events or the experience or the conversation over and over again, like a record that's skipping and repeating the same part of that song. It never changes. It's just, ba-da-da-dum, 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 going around, going around, going around, and it never ends until you go over to the player and lift up the arm. So if you've never seen a record player, it had these big discs and you stuck it on a turntable and it had a hole in the middle, and you would take the arm that had a little needle and you would place it on the record. Okay. And a lot of times they would skip if they got scratched. Okay. So again, got a little um scratch on it, right? It had something not great happen, and then it kind of keeps repeating in that same area. So here's where we start to take action towards what our goal is, right? I'm going to tell myself a different story. I'm not going to continue to tell myself the shame story or the judgment story. I'm going to tell myself something different. So when we have our mantras, let's say, or breath work, right? Mantras really help. You can write those down or say them out loud, get them in this plane, in this dimension, third dimension, out in the open, with your tools. So yeah, let's do the mantras and then a tool like breath work, tapping, humming, something that makes sense to you. And then we take the action, right? So we continue to take this action not to live in that repeated story, right? We don't want to live there any longer. It's not supplying us what we need to move forward. And I have found when I do get triggered again, I can have less recoup time from it. Um, and they they've all been different too. So depending on who the person is, um, how I'm processing it, do I have to interact with that person in some capacity? So then, you've got all the trauma and then you have to process it around them. That's harder. That's definitely harder. So give yourself grace if you need to have minimal contact with that person, or maybe no contact if that's an option. While you're processing it, then do it, because you just never know. Is it going to make you angry? Is it going to make you continue to make you sad? Right? And be in the state of sadness. When we imply, um, that compassion to ourselves during these tough times, that then gets applied to other people, that we're around. And we get to give ourselves a little grace through it all and not be so hard on ourselves. I know I've been there and continue to be there. I mean, I continue to make new acquaintances and have new experiences, and applying the tools and the mantras that I have developed, over the years. I read a really cool article on Substack. If you're not on Substack, I highly recommend getting on Substack. There are some fantastic articles and interactions to be had on Substack. But there was a psychologist named Linnea Butler, and I'll link her Substack so you can check it out, because I'm going to quote her. And I'm also going to, there's some things she said that I got from her, but I reworded just a little bit. So one of the things she put, though, that resonated, and I've said this a lot too, is the only way over is through, right? You have to go through it. Um, Now, okay, you already went through the experience, but you need to acknowledge it in a safe space, right? In order to get through it. There is really no fast track to healing or feeling well. Um, I know a lot of people want that. I wish we all had magic wands. Boy, we'd all be in a lot different financial situations, right? Those of us that do this kind of work, if we did have some kind of magic wand to wave, but we don't. Um, but we do have a lot of tools that we can implement and come back to. And so here's the first quote from Linnea. Quote, "You cannot outthink the nervous system. You have to feel your way through." So true. End quote. And then I reworded this one a little bit, so it's not a direct quote, but I got this idea from her. The mechanism of healing. What is that? The lessons and or clarity doesn't arrive after the pain is gone. It arrives inside the pain. Oh, that really, God, I got the fuzz bumps when I read that. That so rang true. And the last one is a straight quote from her. So, quote, "Underneath it all lives a paradox. Pain, grief, etc. is painful, and it is generative. It is the initiation that costs you the old story, and the medicine that lets you survive its absence. It is a teacher whose curriculum is feel it fully." End quote. That could not be more true. That could not be more true. She said that so well. The whole article was great. And it gives a 6-minute read. Again, I'll link her Substack so you can check her out on Substack. I think you guys would all really, really enjoy her too. And I'm on Substack too, so I'd love to interact with you over there. Oh, so the Infinite Dance Facebook page is now a public page. And all those years ago, I thought it was a better idea to make it private for some reason, but like we all need to find each other right now in multiple different avenues. So that is public now, and I'd love to see you over there. It's where we can share memes, experiences, things like that that's going on our journey. So that's the Infinite Dance on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram as the Infinite Dance and YouTube as the Infinite Dance. So if you're, I'm not sure where you guys are watching this at, but um, make sure you subscribe and like the videos so we can get that all moving in the direction that I would like that to go. And if you would like a private reading, so the readings are Akashic readings and they include chakra healing in our clearings and include breath work and sound and frequency. And I do those in person or online. So I would, you can reach me there at ancientbodyworks.com. And I will link my website in the show notes also. Um, Before we go, I did get drawn to draw a card from the Kuan Yin Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. This is such a beautiful deck. I know a lot of people have this deck. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a card from this deck for the collective. So this is for our collective consciousness in regards to compassion and mercy on self and others as we try to navigate life right now. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, you could see that. The radiant moon of compassion. So I'm going to read from the book. She has got great write-ups on these cards. She has a kind of synopsis, and then she has a healing and a prayer that goes along with the card. But the radiant moon of compassion. Kuan Yin sits upon a radiant moon of compassion, pouring forth the spiritual strength needed for you to liberate yourself from lower vibrational energies of fear and judgment into the vibration of freedom, love, and peace, where you naturally belong. You are being urged to use this power now to grow spiritually and free yourself from a situation that could draw you down. These energies of challenge may appear to be external in the form of a person, place, thing, or situation, or a current or past relationship. They may appear to be internal in the form of a habit of self doubt, self judgment, or the judgment or criticism of others. You can either choose to allow these energies to pull you down into fear and judgment, or you can choose to grow spiritually through the practice of compassion and liberate yourself into greater peace, love, and freedom. Kuan Yin shines through her radiant moon of compassion, reaching to you to allow her to nourish you and lift you to help you as you choose to rise above, growing spiritually stronger as a result. Compassion does not mean becoming a doormat or indulging in the emotional sufferings or even the manipulations or games that another may seek to play from a partially aware and wounded state. It does not mean collapsing into sympathy and seeking to rescue another from their own life choices and experiences. Compassion is the recognition of the power of all souls to co-create their life experience. Compassion is also the recognition of the struggle that humankind can experience in the process of spiritual growth and a gentle, loving compassion for all of humanity. Not from a position of spiritual arrogance, but from a position of kindness and generosity of spirit. Compassion aligns you to your light, to your soul light, to your own spiritual power, and lifts you to freedom. Allow the beloved mother to shine her radiant moon of compassion in your heart now to help you free yourself from judgment and back into wisdom, discernment, and peace. You deserve no less, beloved. So her healing in the radiant moon of compassion. So if you'd like to do this right now, you can go ahead and sit quietly and close your eyes or get a soft gaze and become aware of your heart. And I'm being drawn to become aware of high heart, chakra 8, right? The bridge between heart and throat. Intend that the light of the heart grow brighter until it shines its light on the problem, situation, or circumstance that is of a lower vibrational nature in your life. You will know the situation by the response it evokes in you, one of fear, doubt, judgment, anger, or guilt, and shame. Imagine that within this heart light, a vibrant, radiant moon burns with compassion. As the heart light shines, it illuminates the situation at hand, bringing forth the truth of the situation out from underneath any fear, judgment, or illusion. Quietly speak the following from your heart. Beloved Mother of Compassion, Kuan Yin, help me now as I shine my heart light, filled with the light of your radiant moon of compassion on all aspects of this situation. May this situation be blessed with your divine compassion. May all involved see more clearly and rise above their ego pain into tolerance, understanding, and peace. May the soft light of your compassionate grace bring healing now. So be it. Om Mani Padme Hum. I believe Om Mani Padme Hum means peace be with you. So I'm going to post that in the Infinite Dance Facebook page for you to see the card in more depth. And what a beautiful message we got from Kuan Yin as we talk about giving ourselves some grace while we try to heal from something that was hard, and knowing that it's a journey. And I feel like the goal always is to find more ease around these situations and these experiences that we have. And that's what I bring to my sessions too with clients. Like, how can I bring ease? What's going to bring this person ease in this situation? So they can have that sense of, oh, let me just exhale, right? But it's really important for us to remember all of that. Well, I hope this gives you a little bit of insight. I know we're all going through so much right now. So much is shifting. So much is changing. We are getting so much information coming through when we sleep, when we're awake. My dreams time, oh my goodness. Like I could spend half my day writing out my dreams lately because they're so detailed and there's so many parts to them. And it's like not just like a string of events that you see, but like the feelings too, of the situation that I'm in the dream. It's pretty wild. So having some compassion, having some grace while we go through all these things that are new to us, or why didn't it completely go away, right? It transmutes. And once we do all the parts and the steps that I spoke of, then we can stand in the transmutation and live in that, because we're going to put on um, we're gonna tell a story that's not of lower frequency, right? We're gonna change that. So I hope you got a lot from this, shorter video. This was a shorter video for me. Um, but I really was drawn to talk about, am I healed? You know, did I shouldn't I have been healed? Um, and having a little more grace and understanding with ourselves while we navigate, um, all the different things that happen in our lives. And there's so much, you guys, that is happening right now. Um, so continue to peel back the layers of your compassionate being and continue to ask yourselves and each other, may I have this dance? Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you all. Have a really great day, evening, and life.